Hello and welcome everybody to Climate Transformation Summit 2025 in beautiful Berlin at Impact Hub. We just had 2 full days that were packed with a lot of action. Action on what? Scope 3. So let's have a look at what the others say. So let's start with getting to know our guest.
So I'm working for a company that's called Fiveglaciers Consulting. We are a sustainability consultancy based in Hamburg. And I'm actually one of the co-founders of Fiveglaciers Consulting. So we founded Fiveglaciers Consulting like 2.5 years ago, more or less, because we wanted to focus more on sustainability than we were able to do in our previous jobs.
Yeah, my name is Sebastian Hoerz. I'm working for TeamViewer for almost 10 years now, in the sustainability team by now. And there I'm responsible for all the reporting and ESG ratings, and part of this is also the CO2 accounting or CO2 calculation.
And now I can't wait to hear why you actually work on Scope 3.
I think every company needs to act on Scope 3 because basically it's that we are all sitting in one boat together, right? So we are facing this challenge. We are surpassing the planetary boundaries when it comes to climate, for instance. And Scope 3 forms such an integral part of a carbon inventory of a company. It's more than 70% in general, and even more than 90% for most of the industries, actually, that you can't really have a profound carbon or climate strategy without focusing on Scope 3 as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with Merlin here. For us, it's even higher. It's 99.1% in Scope 3. So without tackling Scope 3, the whole effort is actually meaningless.
So what are the biggest barriers or challenges that you have either personally encountered or that you see other companies encountering when tackling Scope 3?
Well, the barriers and challenges, I think, boil down to data, actually. So it's about data availability. Most often you have spend-based data, right? But you don't have activity-based data or supplier-specific data, which makes the management of your data or your carbon inventory very hard. You don't have data transparency and also data comparability between different suppliers, which makes it hard to work with the data. And you also don't have the IT systems to work with the data in a proper manner. So I think it's not only data, it's also some other challenges, but let's say 80-20, it's data.
Yeah, I think the main challenge is the data availability, and therefore I'm also thankful for the help from Fiveglaciers and Climate Choice to make it easier to collect the data. Sometimes if someone already put some thoughts into some practices, it makes sense to just use it and not reinvent the wheel again. And I think that's probably the thing which really changed in the last years, the accuracy and the granularity of our corporate carbon footprint calculation.
So tell us, what are your favorite best-in-class examples that you would like to share with any company when trying to overcome major Scope 3 challenges?
As TeamViewer, we also participated in the Scope 3 action group, and we shared a little bit the participation between procurement and sustainability team. And I think that also totally makes sense because it's a topic which affects both sides. So I think it was interesting for my colleagues from procurement to see, okay, what are others doing from a procurement perspective? What can we improve there? And on the other hand, it was super interesting for me and people from the sustainability team to see, okay, what is the perspective of the other side? And I think that's also a key learning to see. We need to understand the other side. We need to also value their efforts.
And now I'm, of course, very curious to find out how the collaboration with Climate Choice has actually supported you and your team or even your customers on the Scope 3 journey.
Well, I think the secret ingredient, as you've called it, that we have with Climate Choice is that we can basically make data manageable and make more use of the data that we can collect publicly from the companies.
Let's look ahead. What gives you hope that your company will achieve its goals?
It's giving me hope to be on a climate transformation summit like we are currently, because I feel lots of energy in the people I talk to here, and they are all motivated to change something. And we've had lots of like workshops and sessions where we discussed potential barriers, but also potential solutions to these barriers. And that makes me very positive, because also some very big companies are participating in the summit. And if these companies, like also TeamViewer, are trying to improve there and are doing the first steps and are continuing to getting better and better, this helps overall in the industry, I guess.
Everybody try to improve, that they try to get the data. And also, if we talk to our suppliers, these data, like Merlin mentioned, from Climate Choice are a starting point. Most of the time we then go into quarterly business reviews with the suppliers. We talk about how can we improve the database, and all of that gives me hope that in general everything will improve and we will reach our targets, yes.
Now, going to a conference is one thing, but what really counts is what you take back home. So what would it be for you?
I think the key learning is that people just ask for more standardization. They really want to get more standards when it comes to Scope 3 data, to make the exchange and also the work with the data that they receive from the suppliers easier and more manageable in the end.
What do you hope to see happening in the field of Scope 3 action until end of the year?
That's a good question. I think for me the hope is that organizations realize that they don't have perfect data yet, but that they don't let's say, perfect be the enemy of good, and they just start to work with the data that they can collect and that they have already and make the best out of it, because we don't have any time to waste, right?
I think in general it would be great if we would have more transparency, more granular data availability, to create more accurate corporate carbon footprints, and by that also share the transparency with the market.